Right. Does anybody know how to pause a recording partway through instead of stopping and having to start a new one? Because that would be really handy for me, because then I would have less videos to upload. But maybe just we need the content anyway, so I shouldn't care, just get on with it. Right, so I'm gonna now now I'm gonna leap, I wish. I'm gonna get into my wheelchair safely. I have to be careful because I haven't got my orthotic on yet, and I don't bother putting on it at night like this. I can safely get from my bed to my manual wheelchair without ending up on the floor. And I haven't got my now there was a momentary thought. I've got an emergency alarm on my lanyard here, like my dear old grandma used to wear when she was nearly 100. And when they gave me that, I thought, blimey, that's an extra 50 years they've added to me instantly. But it's all right, because and now I wear it around my neck. It won't get lost as often as it used to, and it means that if I do end up on the floor, I can push the button and somebody will come and rescue me. I don't intend to end up on the floor, although I enjoyed a ride on the Mango Elk, which is an air cushion that lifts you up off the floor. There's loads of paperwork for the poor guys that look after me, so I'm not going to be going down there unless I do it. But it happens, unfortunately, but it hasn't happened for a long time now, because I can at least transfer safely these days. Reminds me of the first day I came out of hospital. I think I went down on the floor then. Luckily, it was a gentle slide rather than a full-on fall. Right, I'm going into the wheelchair. Then I'm going to disappear out of the room. You won't be able to see me go. We might be able to see my head just disappear around the corner, I suppose. I can't really remember what I was going to go out there to do, but I hope they find this American soldier soon and he comes home safely. There was something to do with that. There was a moral behind this somewhere, and I'm sure it was something to do with that, about finding something. Oh yeah, that's right. I found my iPad, didn't I? It was on the floor, and I did the Find My thing, and it went biddly beep beep, biddly beep beep on the floor, and I found it. So if he had one of the tags on him, somebody would be able to use his iPhone to find him. But sorry, doesn't. No, hang on a minute. That was probably proprietary information. His smartphone. Oh golly, I'm going to have to be careful about that, aren't I? Because you can get these devices to work with any type of smart device. Well, at least ones that can connect to these. I have to say that the Apple one does have the massive advantage that it uses the network of Apple device, the billions of Apple devices around the world, to relay the message or the location of this device. Should any Apple user walk past it, it can inform you where your lost item is from anywhere across the world, and it can even inform the person who finds it if they realise there's a tag on it. You can leave a message to say, "This is my number. Give me a shout so I can find my thing, please." And you can also obviously I used to put little bits of. I used to put a business right on the back of a business card, £50 reward or something like that, and put that inside my iPhone case, so my smartphone case, so that if anybody found it, they knew they'd get a reward if they bought it to me, because that's a lot less than buying a new phone. See, that's another little life hack. See, there we go. Of course, there was no point. You had to put another number on the business card, because the phone number that on the business card was the phone number of the phone that the card was in. So you had to remember to put a different. There's the life hack. There's the extra. The bonus feature is put a phone number on that, or an email address on that card, handwritten, that isn't the number of the phone that you're trying to get back. And that reminds you of a time, and I'm going to tell you it because I have just remembered it, so I'll get it done now. I was driving along the road once here in Midsummer Norton, where I live, top of Church Lane, and I noticed a smartphone on the ground in the road near the mini roundabout at the top of Church Lane. I drove over it, not over it as in the wheels over it. I drove so it went under the centre of the car, so the wheels didn't go over it. Yes, I drove over it, but underneath me. Pulled in really quickly, leapt out in the days when I could, ran back along the road, never mind the traffic, praying that no other car would then drive over it, and they didn't. It was brilliant. Whether they saw it as well and did the sensible thing like I did, the kind thing, and drove round it instead of over it, or over it, so but you know what I mean. Anyway, I pick it up, and I think, right, how do I get this back to the owner that is obviously probably frantic with worried that they've lost their phone, because we know, I don't know about you, but I lost mine once at the cycle track that Ojan took me to. And I realised that so many of my contacts in my life were on there that I would never be able to get back again. Years of being in business and personal friends and everything were on there. Of course, it's backed up to the cloud these days if you do that sort of thing. But I must admit I wasn't thinking that at the time. But now I feel slightly less concerned about losing my phone because I just need to claim on the insurance and get another one, and upload it from the cloud. So that's not such a big deal anymore, is it? There we go. That's that worry nailed then. Oh, funny that. Do you know that I just used my own process. Clever, huh? Oh yeah, that's why I created it. Let's not go there. Maybe I've already told you about the brain thing then, because maybe the thought was, and it just sprang into my mind then. If we were talking about brains and the amount of damage, it was about I reckon it's about the size of a walnut, golf ball walnut, that kind of size. They're relatively similar, aren't they? That's what it looked like to me on the scans. How much damage I've got. What I do know is obviously it affected this side, and although I can sort of do that, and I can, hang on. Ow! Oh gosh, that hurt the other side of my neck. Putting on that much effort to make the hand move, because I have to put in about 200% effort. So when you and I do that with our good hands, it takes an amount of effort. Yeah, I have to give 200% just to get it to squeeze the tool. And you can hardly see it move. Anyway, oh no, I can't do it anymore. It hurts too much. I've still got this whiplash injury. I think that's the whiplash injury from that I shouldn't probably talk about because it's subject to legal proceedings at the moment. Although I can't find the blinking form to sign and send back, but maybe to find that's on the list. Anyway, it's on the list. Is it? Oh, let's put it on there. Is it? Oh, that's the joke at the moment round here. Seems to be a catchphrase. Let me put that on the list right now. Hang on. Gonna dictate again. Sign and send back protector statement. Oh yeah, the other thing is if you use dictation, obviously in hindsight, if you use dictation with the telly on in the background, it merges what are your words with their words, and it can get silly. And then you'll do sometimes what I do, which is leave it on with the telly on in the background, and you get the news report coming through on the text. And quite a lot of my texts have got things like Alexa pause in them because I need to pause it when I'm listening to an audiobook, say. I'm trying to dictate. I need to turn it off because it's obviously corrupting what I'm saying. So quite a lot of the messages that went out that I haven't edited properly. Yeah, oh yeah, maybe that was it. Was that it too? Before you send any form of text message, read it and correct it. I was a terror for doing this in years gone by before I had the hole in my brain. Read it, correct it, and then send it. There you go. That is advice, I suppose, isn't it? Sage advice, I think. Wisdom. Sharing the wisdom. Oh, and the other thing, folks, and this is even more important, because written words are so easily misinterpreted, and certain people are more prone to this than others. No names, no pack drill. That when you read a written word, you're reading it when you're in your current state of mind. In other words, your current state of joy or happiness or sense of fear or worry or whatever it might be. Of course, we don't need to worry. We know that now. Well, we don't know that yet. But one day I will put up on somewhere a link where you can go to this feedback website, run the process, give me the feedback, and anyway, we'll see. I'll do that one day, and you can all have a go, and we go from there. And it really does work. You never need to worry again. You can banish worry because the Ali No Worries Ninja has created a process that enables you to do that. Happy days. Here again. And well, there we go. Back to that subject again. Jumping subjects at 1,000,000 miles an hour at the speed of joy. There we go. I believe the speed joy can travel very quickly. Bit like what was it? Douglas Adams said that I've already said this on one of my videos. One of the fastest things in the universe is bad news. And I think he said something like spaceships that were powered by bad news went extremely quickly, but they were never very welcome when they arrived, of course. So it didn't catch on, which I thought was a brilliant joke. Great man. Took a long time to make his name. He talked about the internet back in those days, of course. The sub-Ethernet was, I think, his analogy to it. But anyway, it's a lot easier to get noticed these days. Hey, folks, out there in YouTube land. I'm going to turn off again because it's getting... I'm just wittering, aren't I? Best wishes, everybody. No worries.